gonna turn us around.
Pretty sure.
Turn around.
Did hair and makeup provider yet or no? Are you still waiting on them?
This is like I am.
There we go.
Good.
Well, you guys are in it, so I'm not in it. Good.
You just want your voice to be heard off screen?
Oh, that'd be good.
Omniscient voice on the screen. No, what? No.
I didn't even know that was an option. That's
Agree with that.
Why you gonna be heard off
Can we all be
screen?
voices? I'm gonna be omniscient
No, oh
voice.
my goodness. I don't want to be like talking to the air or whatever. I gotta put on my glasses so that I can see what we're doing. But hello.
Those are cute.
Valerie Complex here, and here we have Leo Faireman from Black Girl Nerds.
Yup.
And if I pan a little bit, there's Danielle Solzman.
Solzman from Salzy at the Movies.
And do you want it like be half in, half out? Like, you want to introduce yourself or no? I won't put you on if you won't.
I look crazy, and then you have it all low.
No, that's because you gotta come over. You gotta come over, but we'll move over a little bit.
Candice, Fredrick,
Yes.
freelance critic.
Yes. Hi. So we just came from seeing the Miseducation of Cameron Post, and I know this is like ghetto fabulous, but I'm so glad to have some of my friends here. Leo, who's been missing from the Cinema Complexium, but he's back. Thank goodness we have him. Mm-hmm. Danielle is like premier #1 activist, writer, all that greatness, and Candice has been doing this for, I don't know, since forever, and she's one of the OG originals. But we're going to talk about the film. What are your guys' initial thoughts on the film? And
I loved it. I don't think you ever put up that Cinema Complexium episode, but this was like the movie that I was waiting on to coming out this year, remember? Because I love Desiree Akhavan, and I thought it was fucking great. I love this movie.
What was her first film? Was
Appropriate Behavior.
Appropriate. Okay, that was.
Yeah.
I didn't know that was her.
Yeah.
Yes. That's how I got put onto her. Very,
Really?
very good.
People, she was in Girls or something. Like I never
She
watched
was, but
Girls.
I
That
never
I don't
watched
know
Girls.
about.
Okay.
No.
Yeah, right. Same position.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Oh, so she was. I loved the movie. It was like you had said before. It was a lot lighter than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
Yeah, later.
Like meaning,
Like there were comedic moments that I wasn't expecting.
right. I thought it was going to be like serious, like conversion therapy, like kind of like Jesus Camp.
Right.
That's what I thought it was going to be like. But it was digestible. Like I thought I was going to be in there crying and clawing, but no, it gave insight into what that world is like, and insight into the minds of people who are there. But but it didn't show the worst of those kinds of environments, because they can be.
Kept it off screen.
Yeah, I was gonna say they kept everything.
Was it PG-13? What was it?
No,
rated?
it couldn't
had to
be.
be
They
now.
dropped too many F-bombs.
I mean,
that's
between
right.
that and the nudity.
I'm so sorry.
Right.
Yeah,
That's
there's a little
right.
bit of nudity.
I mean, nudity and F-bomb, automatic car.
Yeah,
You
that's
know
right.
what's interesting? Like, what we just
Keep
said.
talking.
It's like,
I'm just fixing
we
this
just
to put
said,
it on
I
Twitter.
think that about it being lighter. I want to say that the place they're at is not as hardcore as other places like that. It's meant to be like a sort of hippie-ish. Like they walk in and the guy's playing an acoustic guitar.
Right.
This is not like there are much more fucked up places
Right,
than
yeah.
where they're at.
Yeah.
So it's
there
like
it is.
kind of presenting that. It wanted, I guess, to tell a story that wasn't just going to be a kind of like dour, punishing, if not violent, kind of thing. It was like, this is the lighter side of gay conversion.
Right.
And I think we're also seeing how these particular characters are digesting it. And if it was told from maybe another character's point of view, we would have probably had a more dour, more dramatic tone. But through their eyes, because some of them have been there longer than others. But
Right.
I think that there was a very specific perspective that these characters were just kind of consuming what was happening around them the best way that they could.
Right.
Right, like if it was told from Mark's point of view, this would be a totally different movie.
Right. So, I see.
Yeah, not to spoil any.
No. It's just
but
like, so
it
you're
would
just
be a
saying
different movie.
like the different personalities. They just told it from a different point of view and a different perspective. Now I was expecting Cameron to sort of convert and be like, wow, I really am lost and whatever. But that didn't happen, and it was a really pleasant surprise.
Right.
I think she questioned
She did, yeah.
at times.
Yeah, I was gonna say she questioned it, of course, but I was expecting like a full on like I'm free and I'm
Success
straight,
story.
and it didn't end like that, and I was really impressed by that. I was shocked, and it sort of made me tear up a little bit that, you get rid of the glacier and the weight. Oh, somebody just wanted to say hi. So, it's really good. Is there anything else you wanted to say about the direction or the acting or anything like that?
I think narrative-wise, the arc of it is really interesting. It doesn't feel like a 3-act film.
Right. I thought that too.
Yeah, like the journey that's at play seems unconventional. Because as Candice said, like she starts off and then like there seems to be some confusion, but then she sort of like gets a little more self-confidence and like reckons with her desires or the way she identifies with those in a way that's just not a story circle.
Right. Like it didn't, and I said to myself, this doesn't feel like a linear, like the hero's journey.
No.
It felt more like a play, like a stage play, almost, where I know stage plays are like 3 acts, but they don't have to follow any other specific rules. And it sort of just went back and forth between her flashbacks and what was happening now, and sort of integrated that into how she's thinking. And I don't know, it felt like a stage play to me. Like it could be
it was
like
single setting for the
right.
most part. So
Right. That's what probably made it feel more like playish.
And we don't know where they're going.
Right.
It just kind of ends, and we just know that what is most important is they got their freedom.
Freedom, right.
But what does that look like?
Right.
So that makes a very open-ended conclusion.
What about you, Danielle?
Gazillion emails coming in. I do love that. Pretty much. I thought they were going to steal the van, like they said they were.
Yeah.
And then you see them hitchhiking or hiking, and then they're in that van, the truck. They're going somewhere that's not conversion therapy.
Right.
Just don't know where.
I think also one of the things about the film, even for myself, is that sometimes like the coming out is very isolating. When you're, because it's sort of like an internal thing. So when you think about what you're dealing with internally and how you deal with your family, like there were points in time where I felt like every single character felt a sense of loneliness because their struggles were individual to them, but they were also able to sort of find a community. And that was sort of like the biggest thing for me, because I know even 10 years later, or almost 10 years later after coming out, I'm still dealing with what it means to be a lesbian and how isolating that journey can sometimes be. So that was a point in the film that really sort of hit home for me, if that makes sense. I don't know if you saw that like I did, but
I know for me, the one thing that I kept going back to was they kept associating gender identity with sexuality, and as we know now, and the film was set in '93. As we know now, those are 2 separate animals.
Right.
Like, one can be straight and trans, or bi and trans, or across the spectrum.
Well, back then they didn't have anything like that. And I think one of the other things is how there's a ton of people in this industry, this conversion industry, that have no qualifications.
Right.
It's just a bunch of people from churches.
I was going to say that. I don't think that they have the proper language still.
Right.
To really talk about it in the way that they think that they are presenting themselves.
Well, the thing about the language is that it exists, is that they choose not to. It's a conscious choice just not to be bothered with learning.
Sexuality still in the DSM-4 in 1993?
I don't know. That's a good question.
I think that might have been just before it left. Sorry. I think that might have been just before they took it out of it, honestly.
In the 90s?
In 93, because I think in 94, 95, they removed it.
Really?
As like a mental condition.
I
want to say, unless
I have to definitely look that.
I wonder if that's specifically part of the detail for them setting it at that time too.
That's a good point.
There's been something you just said about like community and stuff. The thing that I think is really twisted about it, and I have like a frame reference, a weird frame reference for this, is I went to a reformatory at some point, nothing to do with gay conversion, but it did have a kind of like cult-like atmosphere, and it did have a lot of group therapy and shit like that. It's a totally fucking horrible place, but strangely, like once you're there for long enough, you start adapting to the language, and you start using the words, and you start using those to identify yourself and to relate to others and to expose them to guardians, which they do throughout the whole movie. Like I was connecting with all kinds of that sick shit here, where they're like in group therapy and challenging each other in front of the talked or in front of whoever to kind of make themselves look like they got their shit together.
Right.
That stuff is mad real. And it's crazy because when you encounter that when you're a young teenager, it's even more disassociative because you're still building your identity, and now all of a sudden you're in this place where they're establishing like a new one with their made-up cult bullshit language. You notice in the bookstore, the only book that's sticking out of that bookshelf before she tries to see the breeder's tape is a book that says cults.
Cults, yeah.
I was like, oh,
I
there we
noticed
go.
that.
Yeah, I totally noticed that.
Yeah, I caught that, but I wasn't sure. I was like, wow.
It's the only book looking out to the camera. I'm
Right.
like, okay.
Because I think these things are ran like cults. I'm sure they
Totally,
are.
Yeah.
totally.
I'm sure they are like
Easily.
that.
I mean, I have a friend who went through conversion therapy and spoke to me. Like, he's been very outspoken about it. Because there's this group, I believe it was Jonah, that a lot of Orthodox Jews, ultra-Orthodox Jews, were pretty much sent off to try and fix their problems. And, like, it gets so psychologically, it doesn't even help.
Well, then to ask the two of you, like, is it easy to leave these places? Like, they just got up and walked off. But I feel like these places would be like more compounds.
Well, this
or-
connects
Yeah,
to
I
it
thought-
being
I
a
was
weird
confused
place.
about that.
I think
Okay.
it's a little hippie-ish in that
Yeah.
way. They're a little
Okay.
like go hiking if you want. They're a little light touch, you know. So
Touch and go,
yeah,
but-
so I feel like in that particular place it was. I don't think that's like there are places that are more locked down than that. Because the fucked up thing is that because of their age, like their parents sign over guardianship there. You know, like they don't have any like power. It's not like they can be like, I'm leaving now. I'm not here anymore. It's not like that. They essentially act like their parents, so they can trap them there. They can even imprison them, in a manner of speaking. So no, I don't. That's not. I kind of ran away from mine.
Okay. Because I was wondering, I was like, wouldn't there be guards? Or like, I don't know. It feels like
There's just that dude
there
in his
weren't any
mustache.
guards there.
No,
It was
well,
very wide open.
They did have the flashlights shining in your eyes.
They did.
Yeah, it reminded me of the psych ward.
right. But,
Yeah.
but it's interesting because it's sort of like the gaslighting. There you go.
Oh,
The gas.
I was trying to get out of
That's
it.
good.
The gaslighting is what keeps you there. It's sort of almost like seemed like a mental slavery, especially for those who were like, who were sort of indoctrinated into that sort of lifestyle.
That's a good word for it.
It felt like, because they could really just get up and leave when they felt like it, right? But they were so programmed that
Right.
they didn't.
It's like One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. It's like
Right.
why they're all there. You know,
Right.
it's like they all check themselves in except for Jack Nicholson.
right. Exactly.
Right.
And they're probably, there's probably some interesting comparison to this in One Flew Over now that I'm thinking about it.
And
probably
we're going
do
to say
some-
that Girl Interrupted.
Girl
Yeah,
Interrupted,
yeah.
yeah, just with the sort of a gay element, and it was really
Yeah.
good to see like, a Native American actor.
Yeah.
Oh, he was
Like,
so fucking good.
and
That
he
guy
was
was
so
amazing.
great.
About that.
I wish
Do you
I
guys
had
know
the,
his name?
I wish I had the materials.
Forrest Goodluck.
Okay.
Good luck.
Oh my gosh, I have
Forrest
to look
Goodluck,
him
I
up to
think,
see if
yeah.
he's been in other things.
Yeah, he
He was terrific.
He was
Yeah, he
terrific.
was.
He was like all the
I
performances.
think
were-
everybody was.
I was just saying, all the
Elaine is just
performances.
always good. She
Yeah.
was
Performances.
from
Hard to Beat Loud, one of my
So
favorite
good.
movies of the year, of
Totally
which I'm
good.
quoted in the trailer.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
See, I like everybody in there was.
Do you know? Did you ever end up watching Super Dark Times? Which was one of my favorite.
I
movies
did
from last
not.
year.
I
So
did
Mark,
not like that
Mark
movie.
is it? Oh, really? That's the
Did
guy.
not.
That's the guy from the guy who played Mark. Is the guy from
Really,
Super Dark Times. Yeah.
really.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. That was
She's like, oh my gosh.
Yes, it was him.
Yeah, he's really good in that, and he's in this. You didn't like Super Dark Times?
I
We
did
gotta have a
not.
sidebar about that.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. No,
So
I
I
love
just-
that movie.
I will check it out at some point.
Right.
I just, like I said, I think Chloe Grace Moretz has always been consistent, and she's always consistently good. I hate that she gets like overshadowed by like Jennifer Lawrence and everybody, because she, like, I loved her in Clouds with Sils Maria. I know a lot of people didn't really care for the film,
see that.
but she was really good for this. Like, I think she's good in everything, and I think
She's solid.
I was at a Comic-Con recently where the creator of Kick-Ass was talking about her role in the film and all that, and saying some of the language that she did, like at that age.
Yeah, she
And
did.
she's got, and then Hugo too, the Scorsese flick.
that's why she
Right.
was in
She was
Hugo.
on that.
She did really young, like prior to Kick-Ass. The Amityville remake. Wasn't she like the little
Was she in
baby?
that?
Was
Yeah, she was a kid in that. She yes, because it was Ryan Reynolds. Yes,
Yes, oh, that
Yeah.
one. Oh,
Yeah,
God,
yeah.
that one was horrible. But yes.
but he looked amazing inside.
Yeah, I was like,
It has nothing to do with anything. But
I was gonna say that one's good, and so it's a really great film. And do you see anybody getting any awards at the end of the year for this one?
Has it been picked up?
Film
I
rights,
think so.
believe.
Yeah, it's
Yeah?
been picked up. I
Okay.
think it's coming out in August.
Okay.
Yeah.
I would love to see some attention for Desiree.
Yeah.
That would be really good.
It's pretty understated though, as far as like a directorial picture. Like,
I mean, even if it's Independent Spirit, because I think
Yeah.
she was nominated for Appropriate Behavior that year for Independent Spirit Awards, which
Yeah.
I'm a huge fan of those awards.
yeah, no, she should get noticed at that for this. I mean, this look, I love Appropriate Behavior. This looks like a film of like a director who's like put their shit together and like had decent funding and a great,
Yeah.
It sounds like somebody with all their ducks in a row. That's what
Right.
this movie looked like. And yeah.
I'd really like to see something for Good Luck, if that's his name.
Yeah.
I'd like to see something for him during the
He's
award.
low key like kind of like the secret star. Of this.
Right, I was
like,
gonna say he's like the star, and I'd really like to see some, indigenous Americans
Representation, just in
and
general.
representation
Yeah.
get
Yeah.
nominated. And I'd
Yeah.
like to see more of that because
Yeah.
it was like a queer, indigenous
Yeah, Lakota,
character.
and I've heard that shit he was talking about in like Lakota with the dual spirit and all that shit like that. And I was like, this is
Like
super-
that was pretty amazing.
Yeah.
The girl who plays Lydia, the Cameron's roommate, was her name Lydia?
Mhm.
Yeah.
I don't remember.
So she was in Fun Home. She played the middle
In the
version
musical?
of the character.
Oh,
Yeah.
really? Yeah.
Amazing actress.
I could see her as
every
I
time.
could see her as Alice Bechtel.
First of all, Fun Home is amazing.
I've never
Totally
seen it, but I know
It's
I've read the
amazing.
book like 15 times. Like,
Oh,
I know the book
really?
very well. Yeah.
I actually have been
It
wanting
was like
to.
the best comic. It's the best comic that came out that year.
Yeah.
It was amazing.
I need to read that.
It's
But
very good.
I was just obsessed with that ever since seeing it. I thought that was amazing. And she's really good. She usually plays she was in the movie with
I'm trying to
Guy
remember what-
Pearce. It was a kind of a mini series about
The Time Machine.
no, I'm trying to because I'm trying to remember these people's names and I don't remember any of their names, but it was based on a true story, basically about the gay revolution, and Guy Pearce was starring in it. Sorry,
No, it's all right.
Totally went off topic, but she was also in that as well.
I mean, it sounds pretty on topic.
Yeah, I was gonna say it sounds on
No, yeah,
topic.
finish.
What else are you guys looking forward to seeing here at Tribeca?
Mary Shelley, seeing that in a few.
The Jason Reitman talk, the
Yeah.
Freaks and Geeks documentary,
Sandra Bland documentary.
Backroads, Untogether.
I'm trying to see.
Quite a few.
Call her
The party's
Ganda.
not- The party's just beginning. Karen Jelon's feature directorial debut.
Right, I'm gonna try to check that one out. State Like
Is
Sleep.
the new John Cameron Mitchell here?
The new
How
what?
to talk to girl? How to
No, that's not here.
That's not here.
No.
No, but I heard that. Where is that? Somewhere.
Yeah,
I'm not-
It
yeah.
sucks. I want to see it anyway, but it's not great.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. I'm gonna really try to see that Rachel Dolezal documentary. I know
I'm
that
gonna
sounds-
run home. That's on Netflix already? Can
No.
I cue that up?
No.
Bobby Kennedy for President drops on Netflix on next Friday. First episode premieres Wednesday night.
I'm seeing Rachel Dolezal because I don't want to give it no clicks, nothing on Netflix. So I said I was going to come see her for free. She's like, I'm not interested at all. I'm going to see the Sandra Bland documentary.
When they
Dead Woman
offered her make a movie about your life or do porn, I'm like, you probably should have done that.
Like, people would be interested in that. Like,
Yeah, people would.
no
click
one's
that.
interested.
I don't think people are gonna click the documentary.
There's something
Click the porn.
twisted and sick about the obsession with Rachel Dolezal, but that's getting off topic. Anyway, that's enough. We're like at 20 minutes, which is the longest one, which is good.
Miseducation of Cameron Post.
Thank you. You should definitely see the Miseducation of Cameron Post. Great performances, great direction. It's heartwarming and it's funny. So you definitely should check it out. Tell people where they can find you if you want them to.
Twitter probably is the best place to find me. You can find me at Real Talker, RELTALKER.
Leonardo EFF on Twitter and at Black Girl Nerds like all the time.
Danielle SATM on Twitter, Instagram, and Salzy at the Movies on Facebook.
And I am Valerie Complex on Twitter and Instagram, Valerie_Complex. I'm writing a little bit all over the place, but I'll get back to
And you can watch the Cinema Complexium.
But you can go to YouTube and subscribe to the Cinema Complexium, because there'll be a new episode this week where we talk about black superheroes, but Leo is not there, unfortunately. But we will have more to come very soon. Thank you for tuning in, and goodbye.
Peace out.